She told me I was too clingy, so I let go and sent their hotel footage to her dad's email. When I say those words out loud, it sounds almost like a revenge fantasy someone would write in an online forum, not something a real man would ever live through. But I lived it. Every bitter detail, every night of doubt, every moment where my instincts screamed and I told myself I was overthinking. The truth is, I wasn't clingy. I was paying attention. I noticed what she thought I wouldn't, and when she finally called me clingy, she wasn't diagnosing my behavior. She was trying to shut me up. She wanted me blind, silent, and easy to fool. I'll start at the beginning. We'd been together for 3 years, 3 long years of ups and downs. Laughter, tears, promises, whispered late at night. I wasn't naive. I knew no relationship was perfect. We argued. We made up. We had those stretches where the spark dimmed, but we always found our way back. At least that's what I thought. Looking back, I realize I was always the one pulling us back, always the one trying. And she, well, she was already drifting. The first red flag wasn't obvious. It came in the form of new habits. Sudden ones, without explanation. She'd been a homebody for as long as I knew her. Cozy nights in, Netflix, takeout, her head on my chest. Then suddenly, she needed girls' nights every week. Suddenly, she had work trips, when her job had never once sent her out of town. Suddenly, her phone went face down on the table instead of screen up. You see those things in movies, and you laugh because they're cliché, but when it happens in your life, your chest tightens in ways you can't describe. I asked questions calmly, carefully, and that's when she weaponized that word. Clingy. The first time she said it, she laughed, brushing it off like a joke. Babe, you're getting clingy. You don't have to know where I am every second. The second time her tone was sharper. You're too clingy. It's suffocating. And here's the thing. Once someone paints you with that label, every attempt to understand, every question, every concern looks like proof of their claim. So I started doubting myself. Maybe I was clingy. Maybe I was insecure. Maybe she was right. But then came the night my doubts were silenced by something stronger than words. Evidence. She told me she was on a work trip. Some 2-day conference in the city. I nodded, kissed her goodbye, told her to be safe. But as she walked out, suitcase in hand, something in me snapped away. A gut instinct I couldn't ignore. So instead of going about my day, I followed. Not close enough to be seen, just enough to know. She didn't go to the office. She didn't go to the station to catch a train to that conference. She drove straight to a hotel, parked, grabbed her bag, and met him in the lobby, a man I'd never seen before. Tall, well-dressed. They didn't hug like friends. They didn't shake hands like colleagues. They kissed, full, deep. The kind of kiss reserved for people who don't care if the world sees, because they're too wrapped up in their own orb. I sat in my car, fingers digging into the steering wheel, stomach twisted in knots. My world tilted sideways. Every late night, every face-down phone, every clingy jab. It all clicked. She wasn't accusing me of being clingy. She was defending her secret. I could have confronted her right there. Stormed in, made a scene, demanded answers, but something inside me shifted. Rage didn't come hot. It came cold. A voice whispered, "Not yet. Don't give her the satisfaction of a fight. Wait, watch, collect." So I did. I called a friend who worked in hotel security. A favor, nothing illegal, just a man doing for another what he wished someone had done for him. By the end of the night, I had footage, grainy, but clear enough. Her walking into the hotel arm in arm with him, her laughing in the lobby bar, her kissing him in the elevator, and later the unmistakable image of them slipping into a room together. I watched it once, twice. By the third time, my tears had dried, replaced with something sharper, vindication, because now it wasn't my word against hers. Now it wasn't paranoia. Now it was fact. The next morning she texted me, "Good morning, clingy boy, conference is boring, miss you." I stared at that message until my hand shook. That's when the plans started forming. Not revenge for the sake of revenge, but justice, exposure. Because people like her thrive in shadows. They lie, manipulate, gaslight, until you start questioning your own reflection. But sunlight burns them alive. And I knew exactly how to deliver it. Her father, a man who'd always looked me in the eye, who'd shaken my hand firm, who once told me, "You take care of my girl, A man who thought his daughter was devoted, loyal, grounded. He deserved the truth. Not whispered rumors, not my angry accusations. Cold, undeniable truth. So I sat at my desk, opened my laptop, attached the files. No subject line, no dramatic message, just one sentence. Thought you should see how your daughter spends her conferences. My finger hovered over the send button. My heart pounded. But then I remembered her smirk, the way she'd laughed and called me clingy, the way she thought she could twist me into silence. And I clicked, send. And in that instant, I let go. The email was sent. No fireworks, no thunderclap, no immediate explosion. Just the quiet whoosh of an outgoing message. It's almost funny how something so small, a click, can rip someone's life in half. I sat there staring at my screen, chest heavy but strangely light at the same time, like I'd finally set down a weight I'd been carrying for months. She came back from her conference the next evening. She waltzed into the house with her suitcase, kissed me on the cheek like nothing was wrong, and said, "You're quiet. Did you miss me?" The audacity nearly made me laugh. Miss her? I'd watched her in hotel hallways with another man. I'd seen the smirk on her face when she thought no one was watching. I didn't answer, just nodded, let her chatter about workshops and keynotes. She was weaving her fantasy in real time, right there in my living room, and she had no idea her father already knew the truth. 2 days later it hit. I was in the garage when I heard shouting. Her father's voice. He had a deep, booming tone that carried authority, and it was vibrating through the walls of my house. I walked in slowly, leaning against the door. He was standing in the middle of the living room, phone in hand, red-faced. She was on the couch, hands pressed together, crying. "Dad, please, you don't understand." "No," he barked, slamming his hand on the coffee table. "I understand perfectly. I saw the footer. Don't you dare tell me it's not you. Don't you dare call this man clingy or paranoid. He gave me proof. I trusted you. Your mother trusted you. And you throw away your marriage like this." Her head snapped toward me then, eyes wide with horror. She knew exactly who'd sent it. "You," she whispered. "You sent it to him." I didn't flinch. "You told me I was too clingy." I let go. Her father turned to me then, and for the first time in months, I saw respect in his eyes. He put a hand on my shoulder. "I'm sorry, son. You deserved better." She sobbed harder, reaching out to him. But he stepped back. "Don't call me until you've figured out who you are," he said, and walked out. The door slammed behind him, and the silence that followed was louder than his shouting. She collapsed into tears, looking at me like I'd stabbed her in the back. But the truth was, she'd stabbed me first, over and over, with every lie, every kiss in that hotel. All I did was hold up a mirror. The days after were chaos. Her phone blew up with calls from her family, friends, even co-workers who'd heard whispers. She tried to spin it. She said I was vengeful, controlling, that I'd invaded her privacy. But the footage didn't lie, and once the truth is out, it spreads faster than excuses ever can. One evening, she cornered me in the kitchen. "Do you realize what you've done? You humiliated me in front of my family." I leaned against the counter, arms crossed. "You humiliated yourself. I just stopped protecting your secret." She glared at me, fury mixing with desperation. "We could have worked through this. You didn't have to go nuclear." I shook my head. "Work through what? You called me clingy when I was the only one trying to hold us together. You used that word to cover your lies. You wanted me silent. But silence is what let you cheat. And now everyone knows who you really are." She didn't have a response. Just tears. Always tears. By the end of the month, she moved out, took her things in boxes, left her keys on the counter. The house was quiet again. But this time, it wasn't suffocating. It was peaceful. My son's laughter filled it again. My own thoughts felt clearer. And me, I started rebuilding. Slowly, I reconnected with friends I'd drifted from. I picked up hobbies I'd abandoned. I went on runs in the evening, instead of sitting home waiting for her lies. And the more distance I got, the more I realized I hadn't been clingy. I'd been loyal. I'd been devoted. I'd been trying to hold together something she'd already torn apart. Sometimes people call me cold for what I did, sending that footage to her dad, but I don't regret it. Because truth, once seen, can't be unseen. And maybe she'll remember that the next time she calls a man clingy, when all he's doing is paying attention. She told me I was too clingy, so I let go, and when I let go, I made sure she didn't just lose me. She lost the mask she wore to everyone else. And that more than anything set me free.